Hello and welcome to Story Meadow, stories for car journeys, bedtime and any other quiet time. My name's Marion and I'll take you on an adventure and we're going to meet some amazing new friends. We might learn a new thing or two and we're going to share some brilliant ideas that you might want to play afterwards or talk about with friends or family. I really hope you enjoy the story. I started making up stories for my own children, Anna, Ben and Noah, and they love them so much, they asked me to share them with the world. So wherever you are, I hope you enjoy this, and I'd love to hear from you too. So if you do want to share where you are in the world or share about a special occasion like a birthday, I will do my best to give you a shout out on the podcast in the next episode possible. All you need to do is ask a parent or a grown-up to email in at info@storymeadow.co.uk and I'll do my best to read them and share them on the podcast. Okay, enough chatting. Let's get all cozy so we can relax into the story. Let's take a first big breath in through your nose and slowly back out through your mouth. And this time, put your hands out in front of you as if you were holding a lovely hot chocolate in your hands. You're going to breathe in the smell through your nose. Smell that lovely chocolate. And then blow out softly through your mouth to cool it back down. Lovely. Well done. I think it's time to start our story. Are you ready? Billy Bunny does some gardening. One day, Billy Bunny woke up and he knew straight away that spring had arrived. He'd been waiting for it for quite some time because winter can sometimes feel really long and rainy and cold. But this morning, it felt different. Just lying in his bed, Billy Bunny's little ears twitched and he knew that it was spring. Do you know how? What clues might he have that it was springtime? Well, first of all, the sun was shining brightly through his window and the room was flooded with light. And Billy could hear lots of new sounds. He could hear birds chirping away. He could hear bees buzzing. And he could hear some sort of digging, crunching, clunking sound. Well, Billy hopped out of his bed and looked out of the window. And he saw that Daddy Bunny was out in the vegetable patch, digging and turning the soil over and very busy getting the soil ready for planting. Billy opened his window, very excited, and he said, Dad, can I help? Can I help? Of course you can, Billy. Come on, get your boots on. Oh, Billy rushed out of his bedroom. He put on his welly boots and Mummy Bunny threw some breakfast at him. He grabbed a little roll with some butter inside and he nibbled on that to get him going outside. And out he was in the lovely sunshine. It wasn't very warm sunshine. Sometimes it's in springtime. It's still quite cold, but the sun can be shining. So he liked the sun, but he still had his lovely little green coat on and his welly boots. And he was ready to help with some gardening. What are we doing, Daddy Bunny? What are we planting? Well, said Daddy, we've got a whole table full of lots and lots of different seeds, and we are going to plant lots of them today. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Why don't you go and pick out the first seeds? I've just got all the soil ready, and I've made a nice neat row for you to put them in. Well, Billy went over to the table, and he saw that they had all sorts of his favourite fruits and vegetables. They had tomato seeds and cucumber and sweet peas and runner beans and carrots. Oh, he loved carrots. And lettuce and corn and broccoli and strawberries. Oh, there was so much to choose from. And he loved them all. He really enjoys eating all of the different fruits and vegetables. They're so crunchy and fresh. Oh, what would he choose? What would he choose? I think I'll go with tomatoes, thought Billy. And he picked up the tomato seeds and he came running over to Daddy Bunny and he said, "I picked tomatoes. I'm so excited. Can I open it? Can I open it?" And he ripped the top of the packet. But he did it so excitedly that he ripped the top and all of the seeds went flying out into the sky and landed on the soil. But they were not in the neat row that Daddy Bunny had made. They were sprinkled all over the place. "Oh dear," said Billy, and he got down on his hands and knees and he tried to pick up the seeds, but I don't know if you've ever seen a tomato seed. If you cut open a tomato and you look inside, there are some little white dots, whitish, yellowish dots. Those are the tomato seeds, and they are very, very small. "Oh no," said Billy, "I can't see them. I can't find them. Maybe this is one, or is that just dirt? I'm not sure. Sorry, Dad." Daddy Bunny said, "Not to worry. Let's try and be more careful next time. Go and get another packet, why don't you, Billy? And this time we'll put them carefully in the row." Billy said, "Yes, okay, Dad, no problem." So he ran over to the table and he chose something else. This time he chose carrots. He loves carrots, so he was going to be super careful with carrots. So he ripped open the packet very carefully and he held the packet in his paws really gently and he walked over to where the row was. But as he was walking, he was really, really looking at the packet, making sure that he wouldn't drop it. But what he didn't see is that Daddy's spade was on the floor and his foot got caught in the spade and he tripped and all of the seeds from the seed packet went flying out and they landed all over the soil, all in a mess. And Billy couldn't see them, just the same as the tomato seeds. Carrot seeds are very, very small too. "Oh no," said Billy, "I've done it again. I'm so sorry. I dropped them everywhere. I didn't mean to. I tripped and oh, Dad, I'm sorry." "That's all right," said Daddy Bunny. He was a little bit he was losing his patience a little bit, but he really wanted Billy to try again. So he said, "Well, try one more time, Billy. Be really careful this time. Why don't you pick something that's got bigger seeds? So if we drop a few, we can still pick them up." "All right," said Billy. So he went to the table and he chose something that had bigger seeds. He chose sweet corn. And those seeds are quite big because they're the size of about a sweet corn, a small one. "Okay, I've got it," said Billy, and he walked over to Daddy Bunny. He carefully ripped open the packet. He looked where he was walking, and he started to pop them in the row that Daddy Bunny had made. Nice and neat, one at a time. Careful now, careful now. Now, what Billy didn't notice is that sometimes birds really like sweet corn seeds, corn on the cob. They love them. And as he was putting some of his seeds down, a cheeky little pigeon was coming up behind and pecking them and flying off, and then coming back for another and another. So when Billy finished his row, and he said, "Look, Daddy Bunny, I've made an excellent row. I did lots of them. Look, look." Well, when they looked, there were not many seeds there at all. In fact, there were only 3. "Oh, that's strange," said Billy. "I did more than 3. I did lots. I don't know what happened." So he went back and he did them again. Well, the same thing happened. And this time Daddy Bunny spotted and he said, "Oh dear, Billy, look behind you." "Ah," said Billy, "that pesky little, oh my, that bird, that, Daddy, did you know it was eating them the whole time? Shoo, shoo, shoo." And he shooed the bird away. Oh, that made them both laugh. "This is a disaster," said Billy, but he found it funny. He knew it wasn't a big problem and some things would still grow. Daddy Bunny had an idea. He said, "Billy, I think we need to do something to shoo those birds away. We need to scare them off." And Billy said, "Okay, I'll be on scaring duty." And he started to run around with his arms in the air saying, "La, la, 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 shoo, 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 shoo." And Daddy Bunny said, "Okay, well, that might work for a little while, but what if you need to leave the vegetable patch? Well, I can't, said Billy. I'll have to stay here forever to make sure the birds don't eat the seeds. I might have to sleep out here and have my dinner out here, and I'll just have to stay in the veg patch forever. And Daddy Bunny said, well, I'm not sure that's really the best idea. Oh, said Billy. Yeah, I think that would be quite tricky. Sometimes I might even need to go to the toilet. Okay. Oh, I know. We need to make a scarecrow, said Billy. Yes, that would definitely be a better idea, said Daddy Bunny. Let's make a scarecrow. So they set to work. They made a scarecrow with an old broom handle, some old clothes, and some straw. And they used an old football for a face. And the scarecrow looked quite funny and quite cute. And they popped it in the veg patch. There we go. That should do the trick. And then they planted a few more seeds in neat rows. And Daddy Bunny said, well, let's hope for the best. We'll see if we get some corn and some tomatoes and some carrots. And that will be good. Well done, Billy. Thank you for your help. Oh, that's all right, Dad. I'm so excited. I can't wait for it to grow. But growing takes a long time. It doesn't just take a day or 2 days or even 3. It takes weeks and weeks. But sure enough, after a few weeks, there were little green shoots popping up all over the place. And actually, the veg patch was bursting with vegetables because Billy had sprinkled them all over when he'd ripped the packet over and tripped over with the other packet. So there were lots and lots of tomatoes and lots of carrots. There were some sweet corn plants growing as well. And lots of other things too, and Billy couldn't wait to nibble on them all. The end. I wonder if you've ever tried planting something in your garden. Maybe you've got some pots that you could plant a little vegetable in or a little seed somewhere. Do you know you can actually use seeds from your own vegetables and fruit that you already eat? So you could plant an apple tree with an apple seed. Or if you wanted to plant tomatoes, you could collect up the tomato seeds, pop them on a little tissue and let them dry out. And once they're dry, you can pop them in the soil just as they are, even with the tissue, because that will just go into the soil. You can have a go at planting. You could use cucumber seeds as well. That would work just the same. Need to let them dry out a little bit on a tissue first and then pop them in the soil, and they should grow into something really delicious and tasty.